Hi everyone, this is Mohan Raghavan. Today topic is Python virtual environment. Today agenda, need of virtual environment, definition of virtual environment, installation and creating the virtual environment, activating virtual environment and leaving virtual environment, and demo and comparing the virtual environment library versus the default Python library. Before jumping into the topic, just we see the need of virtual environment. So what is environment? So environment just means that you have coded and you have the libraries, everything ready for that code what you have typed. So that called environment, which means basically where you are running your program. But what does it mean, virtual environment? So it's obvious that every time when you create the Python applications, you will use other packages and modules from library as your library files, right? So particular time, your function or your program which may require the library version of 1.0 and another Python program may need 2.0. So when you install the same package with 1.0, then if you try to execute 2.0, the functions may not work. The same way, vice versa. So that time you need to install and uninstall every time when you switch to the programs, right? So that time the Python has the facility to create a virtual environment for every program or for every project. So we will see whatever the reference they have given in the Python docs. So Python applications will often use packages and modules that don't come as part of the standard library, of course, and we will get from the pip install command and we will install that package and we will use the functions from that, right? So application will sometimes need a specific version of library because the application may require that particular bug has been fixed or the application may be written using absolute version of the library interface. So this is a familiar case, right? So for example, in the older version, there will be some bug found. So for that, they will be giving the new version, but still some of the other functionalities may be available only in the older version. So that time we will go with older version. In other case, let's say in a same company, a developer A has working in particular program module or a programmer B has working in the different module. So that time you may be having the different versions for that. Or let's say the same programmer working in the version of 1.0 and 2.0, but he has to check both versions. So that time installing and uninstalling the packages, it's not feasible and it's not good practice as well. So that time this creating virtual environment will help us. So the example we will see, this means it may not be possible for one Python installation to meet the requirements of every application. Example, if application A needs version 1.0 of a particular module, but application B needs the 2.0, then the requirements are in conflict and installing either version 1.20 or 2.0 will leave one application unable to run. If I install 1.0, other application may not work. If I install 2.0, other application may not work. So the solution for this problem is to create the virtual environment, a self-contained directory that contains Python installation for a particular version of Python. So we are isolating one environment for a particular program or particular application so that it will be working on that particular version. So different application can use different virtual environments. So in that way, let's say application B has its own virtual environment 2.0 and application A will have its own virtual environment 1.0 kind of thing. So we will see detailed information in coming slides. So definition of virtual environment. So this is again from Python docs, a cooperatively isolated runtime environment that allows Python users and applications to install and upgrade Python distribution packages without interfering with the behavior of other Python applications running on the same system. So this is the basic definition in the Python docs. And how can we install the virtual environment? To enable this feature, we need to install the virtual environment in our system. So further, the command is pip install virtual environment. And to see the information about that virtual environment, you can use the pip show virtual environment, the shortcut as mentioned in the slide. So next one, creating virtual environment. So let's say you are going to create one virtual environment for your projects. So you can mention the folder structure, and before that you will mention Python -m and venv. So after using this command, you will be having that folder structure getting created, and it will have some default files as well. So which means that this will be having the virtual environment for your project. Next one, activating virtual environment. So it does not mean that you created the virtual environment, you can work on that. So you need to activate. So whenever you create the virtual environment, so that will have the default folder like scripts and activate. If you see at the last folder structure, under activating virtual environment, you will have the scripts. Under that, you will have the activate file. So you just need to run that, then it will be activated. So once you get into that virtual environment, so you can install any packages, whatever the version you want. So it will not be visible to the other projects. It will be visible only to this project. And leaving virtual environment, let's say you want to come back to the actual system and you want to see the libraries, that time you will use the command deactivate. So this all commands we will see in coming slides. So demo, let's go into the demo. First one, we need to install the pip install virtual environment, right? So we will go one by one. This command installs the virtual environment facilities. So just I'm clicking enter. That's all. We have installed the virtual environment. So next one we will see the details. So version is 16.00. The virtual environment, virtual Python environment builder. So successfully we have installed. Okay. Then we will go to the virtual environment creation. So whichever the location you want to create that virtual environment, you will give that location with this command. So let's say I want to create under, we'll go to the path. So let's say I will create folder here. So it's VNV demo. Double click. So get this location. Find it. So just copy. So this line will create the virtual environment with the default folder structure and the default files. Let's get and now it's being created. It's completed. So now go to this and see these are the default folder structures get created. So it has to include library scripts, py-venv config file. So as soon as we create, the next step will be activate that virtual environment. So to get into that environment, you need to activate. So for that command is cd user. So wherever you created that folder structure, inside that scripts will be created. The folder named scripts. So you can check that. So just click on that and click on activate. So the file already is there. So just you need to invoke that file. Just a minute. So path looks good. Let's see some command prompt. See use some modern PyCharm. till this point we'll go. Yes, till scripts we went. Now you need to type activate. Actually, we cannot use that command directly with the file name activate. So till that script level, you need to go and click on activate. So now you are in the virtual environment. I think now you can see that things. So next point is, so where you will have the libraries. So this will be the libraries, default libraries, what you have in your tool is, or what you have in your project and the folder structure is, these are the things. Now, as you see, there is no Excel related packages, right? But just I will open another. See, this is the default location where Python get installed, and there also will be a library folder. Then if you click site packages, so you will see the OpenPyXL. This is just example. So this OpenPyXL is available for all the Python programs or Python projects, but for our virtual environment, there is nothing like that, right? So just to check that, pip show OpenPyXL. So nothing like that, right? So we don't have here. So just we will install OpenPyXL. Let's see some other things. So we will go to the default library. For default library, we have the OpenPyXL. So just see about the default library here. So here I am not in the virtual environment. So if you see that others command prompt, see VNV demo. This is the folder structure and it will be in the bracket, which means that it is a virtual environment. But if you see the normal thing, it will have only the folder structure. Now I will type the same command, open show OpenPyXL. See here you can see that the difference is clear, right? So this is actually the comparison of the virtual environment and the local library or the default Python library. So in default Python library, we have that OpenPyXL package and you will have the details. But in the virtual environment, you don't have, that's why you are not getting input. So how to install things here? The same way like here only. So pip install. So let's see, we will try to install some new thing. So see here, Excel WT is also one more of Excel package. So we will try to install that one. Excel WT. Great. So we have installed that Excel WT. So now we will go to the virtual environment location. So if you see here, V environment demo under that, let's say Excel W2 is available. So whatever the code or whatever the project under this folder structure, it will be using the Excel WT. It will not be visible to the other projects. And even you can use the specific version as well. So already we saw in another video how to install different versions by using the requirements.txt file. So that is useful in case of if you are using with the different versions. So here we have installed in the virtual environment. So now currently we are in the virtual environment. How to come out from that virtual environment is the same command that we discussed some time back. So deactivate, enter. So now if you see clearly, it does not have that brackets with V and V demo. So now we are in the actual thing. So now if I try to show that Excel W2, it will show the error XWT. Okay, here also it will show, I think, but it will not be visible to the other projects. And you can see the location here as well. So it is under the C users Mugundan PyCharm projects VENV demo. Under that folder only we have this package. So let's try to see the open PyXL where the location comes. So it is showing something error pip version 10.1.0. Okay, now we'll see. Yes, now you can see that. See, it's showing the default library location, C user Moondan, app data, local programs, Python 37 lib side packages. So it clearly tells that Open PyXL it's available under the default Python library, whereas above one XWT available under the C users PyCharm project, Moondan PyCharm projects V environment demo under the library file side packages it's available. So what actually it facilitates is you can use this function from XWT in the projects of VENV demo. Under the project, you can use all the things XWT, but you cannot use in the default packages. And by using this open bracket, close bracket, we will come to know whether we are in the virtual environment or not. So in case of installing anything on the virtual environment, you need to get into the virtual environment. Then only you can install that. See, now I am currently outside the virtual environment and does not have any open brackets. So let's see, we will try to install XLRD. So we'll type pip install XLRD. So we have installed, so it will be in the default Python library. So so you can see XLRD is available here. And if you go to virtual environment, it does not have the XLRD because we have installed in the default library. So in this way, we can create the n number of virtual environments and we can install the different packages and with the different versions. So what are the things we have seen? It's the definition of virtual environment we see and installation of virtual environment. So that's a simple command pip install virtual environment. Then after we saw how to create the virtual environment folder structure in different areas. Then we saw how to activate and install that packages particularly for that environment and how to come out from the virtual environment also we saw. And we have compared the comparison between the virtual environment and the default Python library comparison. So that's all about the virtual environment. Thanks all and subscribe my channel. See you later.